There are times where you need to combine the not function with the if function. Using what I have in front of me, which is the sheet second if, I'm going to apply a not function to this particular data. I'm going to put a formula in E3 that says equals if, and then I'm going to use the function not. And here it is here. If not, B3 equals logs. So if B3 does not equals logs, if that's true, then I want to say not logs. If that's false, then I want to say logs. So if B3 does not equal logs, then put not logs, otherwise put logs. And let it correct that. And so it says logs because B3 does say logs. But when I fill it down, I get not logs for pulp, pulp, paper, paper. So there are times when you need the not function, and that's how it applies. Very similar to the and the or that we've just looked at in earlier videos. There are also times where you need is functions. So for example, I'm going to insert a sheet. I'll press the key combination Shift F11, which inserts a new sheet, and I'll give it the name is functions. I might type some values such as gold, region 1. I might create a ref error, put a value in, and not available. Now what I'd like to do is apply some is functions. Let's start with is blank. Equals is, and here they are all listed here, and you can see there's quite a few of them. If I double click is blank and then click on A2, I'll basically get a true or a false, and in this case I'll get a false because A2 is not blank. If I want to check if there's an error, I'll go equals is, and I can choose or error. I'll double click error, and I'll choose the cell A2, or A3 actually, and enter. And it says true, there is an error in A3. If I go to the next cell down and test is NA, I'll go equals is, and I want to check if a cell is not available. If I choose is NA and then I look at A5 and press enter, it says true. There's a not available sitting in A5. If I went to test is number equals, come down a cell, equals is, and choose number. This will test if there's a number in a cell, and if there is, it'll return true, and if there isn't, it'll return false. So if I click on A4 and press enter, it should say true. And true, there is a number in A4. There's also a function to test if there is text sitting in a cell. So I'll go equals is, and I'll choose text, just a little further down. If I double click text, and then I click on A1, it should return true because there's text in A1, and I get true. So the sort of functions you've got, equals is, you can test if a cell is blank, it'll tell you true it is blank or false it isn't blank. You can check if there's an error in a cell with is or, and this looks for value, ref, divide, num, name, all these different types of errors, or there is another one called is error as well, one's shorter than the other. So you can check if there is an error, and if there is an error, then you can tell it what to show. You can check if it's containing an even number. If the number in a cell is even, do the following. If what's in a cell is a formula, or if what's in a cell is a true or a false, or if whatever's in that cell is an NA, or it will check if there is non-text. It checks whether a value is not text. It checks whether a value is a number, and it checks whether a number is an odd number. And you can also check for weak numbers. And you can also check for interest paid. But more importantly, we can check if there is a reference, and we can also check if there is text in a cell. So the is functions tend to return a true or a false because you're asking the question, is there text in that cell? Is there an odd number in that cell? Is there an even number in that cell? Is there a number in that cell? Is that cell blank? Is that cell containing a formula? All those sorts of things. So they're very, very useful.